Every Ford GT Evolution explained. Imagine being told you can't sit at the winner's table. You've got the money, the ambition, and the power, but they still slam the door in your face. That's exactly what happened when Ford tried to buy Ferrari. And when Enzo said no, Ford didn't just walk away. They built a beast. Not to join the race, but to dominate it. The Ford GT wasn't just engineered in a lab. It was forged in ego, rivalry, and the kind of American determination that doesn't take no for an answer. In this video, we are breaking down the full evolution of the Ford GT, from how it was born out of pride, pain, and purpose to its modern-day rebirths. Stick around, because this isn't just history, it's personal. First generation Ford GT, 1964 to 1969. In 1963, the American automobile giant Ford was so close to purchasing Enzo Ferrari's company, but the deal never went through after the old man realized a clause that was added into the contract. He ended up declining the deal and sent the Ford team packing empty-handed. On their return to Detroit, Ford's point man during the negotiations was told by Henry Ford to go to Le Mans and beat Ferrari at its own game. And that was how the Ford GT was founded. For Ford Motors, it wasn't just about finishing first in the race, it was personal. It was about payback and building a reputation. Ford Motor Company fought to accomplish in 10 months what Ferrari had perfected over decades. After a series of failed tests and prototypes breaking during test runs, including gearbox problems in 1964 and 1965, the GT40 MK2 was developed with a 7-liter engine and a roaring 485 to 500 horsepower. It had a top speed of 200 miles per hour, or 322 kilometers per hour, and could reach 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4 seconds with a 4-speed manual transmission. The time for revenge finally came in 1966, during the iconic Le Mans race, one that tests the limits of man and machine. It wasn't just about speed, it was about endurance and surviving the full 24 hours on the track. Ford's 3 MK2s won the race in a 1-2-3 position, and most importantly, Ferrari was nowhere to be found. Ford went on to retain its Le Mans title for 4 consecutive years from 1966 to 1969. Beating Ferrari on its own turf was a great achievement, but Ford wasn't done just yet. It wanted to beat Ferrari even on the street. This move gave birth to the second generation of the GT, second generation Ford GT, 2004 to 2006. Although the original GT40 stopped getting produced in the late 1960s, Ford decided to pay homage to its legacy by introducing a concept car with similar design to the original GT40 at the North American International Auto Show in Detroit in 2002. Knowing the legacy left behind by the GT40 was enough to make you fall in love with it, but imagine going to a car show and seeing an exact prototype of this road machine. That alone is enough to give any gearheads goosebumps. The second generation Ford GT got officially unveiled at a similar car show in 2004. It was like bringing the death back to life and making it even better than it was before. This model came with a mid-engine layout, gull-wing doors, and a supercharged 5.5-liter V8 engine. It was also equipped with 550 horsepower, giving it a top speed of about 205 miles per hour, or 331 kilometers per hour, and the ability to reach 60 miles per hour, or 96 kilometers per hour, in just under 4 seconds. It had an aluminum lightweight body and advanced aerodynamics. It came with a 6-speed manual transmission and a modern shift pattern, making it easy to work the gears. Ford knew how important it was to maintain the GT's sport feature, while still making it suitable for casual road use, so they made sure the Ford GT benefits from being designed as a street car, which made it feel like a modern supercar in every way. But this model of the GT wasn't only about paying homage, it was also designed to beat Ferrari on the street. Like its predecessor, it did by outrunning Ferrari's 360 and 430 mid-engine sports cars, putting Ford ahead of its Italian rival yet again. At the end of its production in 2006, Ford had produced a total of 4,038 Ford GTs, contrary to its original plan to produce only 2,000 units due to the surge in demand. But that wasn't the end of this rivalry. In 2012, Ford's performance team began a secret project to restore the Ford GT legacy one more time, with one goal in mind: have it ready to face Ferrari at Le Mans in 2016, which is exactly 50 years after the GT40's first historical win. You can probably guess the result. Third generation Ford GT, 2017 to date. Ford wanted to go back to the grounds where it all started, but it knew what was at stake: its hard-earned reputation. To make sure it defended its title over Ferrari, Ford engineers came up with a new design for the GT. Its interior came with a sleeker look, and it had a more aerodynamic shape, unlike its predecessors. It had a mid-engine, 2-door coupe shape, and some exterior features such as the side pods were also added to give it a more detailed look. The third-generation Ford GT combines both the race-oriented design of the first GT with much of the second-generation GT refinement. It was given both the looks and the power under the hood. But it had more. It was also a technological wonder with a top speed of 216 miles per hour, or 347 kilometers per hour. Unlike its predecessors, this monster was powered by a twin-turbocharged 3.5-liter V6 engine with 647 horsepower and a dual clutch. It also came with paddle shifters and automatic transmission, which provided lightning-quick gear choices. The third generation of the GT is more like a street car designed with the racing power of the original GT40, which already won Le Mans 50 years ago. Going back to where it all started, the same ground where the GT became more than just a car, Ford was determined to do it again. The result? Yet another Ford GT victory, beating the Ferrari 488 on its own turf in 2016. The win is another outstanding race legacy for Ford's newest GT, Gulf Oil Heritage Edition. The evolution of the Ford GT didn't only stop with the 3 generations discussed. Ford decided to make it more interesting by creating other versions of the GT they named the Heritage Edition, to honor and celebrate the brand's legendary racing history. Ford launched the first Heritage Edition called the Gulf Oil in 2019, to commemorate the original GT40's back-to-back wins at Le Mans in both 1968 and 1969. Only 343 of the Heritage Edition were built, which makes them extremely rare and valuable, of course. It features a blue and orange paint scheme, a tribute to the iconic Gulf racing livery. The interior also includes unique colors, materials, and appointments, including a seat pattern inspired by the 1968 GT40 Le Mans winner. The Heritage version came with a 5.4-liter supercharged V8 engine and 550 horsepower. Holman Moody Heritage Edition. Fast forward to 2022. Ford decided to do a Heritage Edition to honor the original Ford GT40 MK2 Le Mans winner that was driven by Bruce McLaren and Chris Amon at the 1966 Le Mans. This edition, featuring a unique Gulf paint scheme, also honors the team that developed the GT40's brake system. They are also equipped with exposed carbon fiber and signature red and white accents. Only 27 of this edition were ever built, but Ford didn't stop there. Alan Mann Heritage Edition. The Alan Mann Heritage Edition, released in 2022, throws it back to the early days of the GT40's development. Ever wondered who laid the foundation for the GT40's success? Alan Mann Racing played a key role, and this edition features a bold red and gold livery, reflecting their signature colors. Hold up though. There's more history to be uncovered. 66 Daytona Heritage Edition. This edition, introduced in 2021, celebrates the 55th anniversary of Ford's first 24 hours of Daytona win, which was a major step towards Le Mans dominance. It features a white, red, and carbon exterior with number 98 graphics, referencing the winning GT40 MK2. 64 Prototype Heritage Edition, released in 2022, takes us right back to where it all began, the 5 original GT40 prototypes. These cars were the testing grounds for Ford's GT program, and this edition honors them with a white exterior and black accents, replicating the livery of the remaining GT40 prototype car, the 1964 GT105, Ford GT-LM Edition. Finally, we've got the Ford GT-LM Edition. This edition, released in 2022, celebrates the Ford GT's overall win at the 2016 Le Mans 24 Hours and the Ford Chip Ganassi team that transformed the car into a Le Mans winner. It includes a unique 3D titanium-printed dual exhaust and other unique interior and exterior features. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button to follow the series as we break down more car stories. See you in the next one, and drive safe.